They love
and
it
it's
out
a big export.
in Asia.
It's a big export. In order to feed those markets, reverse osmosis is a necessary thing. We could never make it doing 3 gallons an hour.
Yeah, well, I just paid.
But I'm a specialty shop that believes in old-fashioned flavor.
I used to pay $6 a gallon for maple syrup,
Yes.
and I just paid $40 from the Amish. So there's been a big jump.
There's
and
a
I
big
guess
jump.
the Chinese aren't helping that because they're all snapping up a lot of the maple
they like
syrup.
a lot of the maple, so do the, well, everybody does.
Everybody loves maple syrup, especially the sugar when you
But
make
ours
sugar.
is a specialty old-fashioned thing along with our elderberry syrup, our wild elderberry syrup. Were there elderberries down there when you lived there?
Oh, sure. My grandfather used to make wine out of them.
Yeah, well, I do too.
All over the place.
Because at the end of one of these days with the tourism and all the rest of it, I have to sit by the fireplace with a glass of homemade wine.
Well, the elderberry wine is excellent wine, easy to make.
It is.
You know
Very
where
good for
you know where the old barn used to be?
Yes.
Okay, that whole area was a bank of elderberries.
There's still elderberries in that area.
There was just tons of them.
Yes.
And they were easy to collect.
Yes, that's
and they are delicious. You don't eat them like berries per se. You got to doctor them a lot of
and
sugar.
you know that the stems are poison.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Like with rhubarb, the leaf is poison,
right,
so you have to destem them.
Right, or incidentally, so is the poinsettia, the leaves.
Yeah, I know.
You don't want to eat them.
By the way, let's talk about pawpaw trees.
Pawpaws, that's the one thing they had down there.
It's loaded with pawpaws
right now. You can't find anywhere in the world just about these pawpaw trees. They have a little pear-shaped, double pear-shaped, like a peanut, but it's giant, and it's yellow when it's ripe.
Yes,
and
well, it's loaded down there. You should come and look.
Well, I used to eat the pawpaws, and they're delicious.
I know. They taste mildly like a banana.
Yeah, that's one food you can just snap right down, too.
Yeah,
and it's, once they're yellow, don't eat them when they're green.
No, they're pretty hard when they're green.
Yeah, but the pawpaw, and you know that old song, Down in the Pawpaw Patch. Well, this is a real pawpaw.
It is.
And it's a rare tree, although I will say I have a property up in Mayville, which we use for hunting, and there is a pawpaw tree on that. And I was shocked because I haven't seen one since that place down there, and my father planted a lot of those pawpaw trees.
Well, you know,
he spread
he spread them. I picked up a book from Cornell University's forestry school a number of years ago at a book sale. An old book sale, and it was from 1898, and it said that pawpaws generally grow in the central United States, but they're found as far north as the south shore of Lake Erie and right along the shoreline because of the mild climate.
Well,
so, and that's where we are, south shore of Lake Erie.
What you must do now is pick some of them and sell them.
Well, I need a lot, but I'll tell you what.
All the public will now want to taste a pawpaw.
Oh, yes, I know they will, but there are not enough for that, let me tell you. I already have to beat the birds to the...
Yeah, they love them.
Speaking of birds, you want to talk about eagles? You used to call that place Eagle Cliff.
My father named it Eagle Cliff, and incidentally, friends of his and the family would send a card or a letter to Westfield, and they just put Eagle Cliff on it, and they know where to take it. The postmaster, who was a distant cousin, used to, through marriage, Jerry Copine, this goes down to the Powers Place again, you know, that's on Route 5, you know where it is.
And the horse delivered it, didn't it?
Not quite that far back,
Not quite, okay.
But it was called Eagle Cliff because at that time, the eagles, there were huge trees right along the edge of the lake, which is where they liked to nest. Yeah. And they nested in those trees, and you'd have I'd go down in the bottom of the tree, and there'd be dead bones, and rabbits and birds and stuff, all underneath which they dumped out of the nest after they ate them.
Wow.
And they used to fly in and out, and it was just gorgeous. You'd go down by the lake, and they'd fly out from the nest.
Right out into the lake.
Onto the lake.
I have another piece of property near the end of Pratt Road, and when I walk back in there to take care of it, the 4 eagles go out. They have all summer long. There's 2 mature ones, and it looks like 2 immature ones. And the 4 of them go right out over the lake. They look like airplanes taking off.
Sure.
And they're gorgeous.
They're just, they're beautiful.
But I'm mad at them.
Why?
Well, I redid my pond, deepened it to 50 feet.
Oh, you have a nice pond there.
I do.
One year we drained that pond, the fire department. We came back down and refilled it. Yep. I might have been doing the woods fire.
Yeah, might have been. I don't know. But anyway, I drained it and I deepened it and cleaned it about 4 years ago. And then I stocked it with big, nice rainbow trout, $20 a piece, and I put 20 of them in. That's
How big
400. Oh, about that long.
That's over,
I got them from a fishery place. And he brought them in a big tank, and I was so thrilled. And I would take the tourists out and stand on I have a deck out in the pond, and we'd stand there, and I had special fish food, and I would throw that out. And those rainbow trout would just, oh, they were beautiful. Everybody loved it. They liked to feed the fish. One day I went out, there sat your friend the eagle in the top of a really tall locust tree, and at the bottom were bones, and he fished out every single trout out of my pond.
It's hard to believe he got every one.
He got them all.
Got them
there
all,
was
huh?
not, and he got my grass carp that were in there. They're all gone. So this year, a man came on a work program at KOA. His sister is, oh dear, I can't say her name, Sam Laporte's wife.
Okay.
And he came to the area for relatives and to be at KOA. He likes to fish, so he fished in my other ponds and restocked my home pond, the one where the eagle likes to be, with bass, bluegills, and perch. Well, I was picking elderberries in the edge of the woods by the pond, and in came the eagle, and down he went, and up he came with one of the bass.
Oh, so probably the biggest bass in the pond, too.
Probably. So
Yeah.
I'm feeding him again.
Yeah, I guess.
But
well,
that's okay.
You're not allowed to shoot them either.
Oh, I wouldn't hurt them for the world. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous.
There aren't enough. No, you know, they're down in Barcelona, so they eat the ducks.
Oh, I'm sure. They eat
come
anything.
And then zap,
Yeah.
bye-bye, little duck. You
There
know,
goes
there's a
the duck.
duckling around it.
Yep.
Pop.
Yep. But they are beautiful.
Oh, they're just
And
gorgeous.
it's so nice to have them back
The
again.
biggest and the most beautiful of our falcon-type birds, the predator birds, and what do they call them?
beautiful.
Peregrines or something like that. But anyway,
I don't know.
they're an incredible thing.
We
And
have a lovely blue heron that eats frogs out of my pond.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
your son tells me he catches frogs by the little. He has a.
He has a little red piece of yes.
Yeah,
Robert does that.
little thing, and they snap it up and they grab it and he
I
fishes them
think
in.
he fed your daughter frog legs one night.
I'll bet he did. I think he did.
so.
I love frog legs, but
They're
I used
really
to
good.
do it the old-fashioned way: spear them at night
Oh, yeah.
with
Yeah.
with a lantern.
I
And,
have an old frog spear.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
millions of little
Yes,
tines on
yes.
it. And yeah, I used to get them, and I'd fill a bag with them. Even though you spear them, it doesn't kill them. And so
Yeah.
the bag was, I'd fill the bag and put them in the cellar for the morning to clean them up for the frogs. They'd croak all night long. It was make an awful racket down in the cellar.
Oh well.
Yeah, but they are delicious. Frogs' legs are not just for the French guys; they're for anybody who can catch a good-sized frog.
Right.
And
Well, you
go
know,
ahead.
tourists like all those things, and they like to see where the frogs are. And we walk out there on our tours and show them the frogs in the edge of the pond and the berries that are growing. And I have a quince tree. I don't know. I don't think there were any quinces there when I came.
No, I didn't. I never saw.
I have actually 8 quince trees now.
That's a little apple, isn't it?
Well, it's kind of like an apple on a tree, about so big around, and it's fuzzy like a peach. It's green and hard like a persimmon. It looks like a misshapen pear, and when you cook it, it tastes like honey.
Oh.
It's very good to glaze a ham, and we make quince syrup.
Quince syrup, and you put that on your ham.
Yep, and we put it in a cup of tea. It's like putting honey in tea. It's really good, and on ice cream.
Well, the interesting thing about living on it's not really a farm, but by the lake, is you do have so many wonderful experiences by the lake.
Oh, yes, yes.
And you can see the lake from your bedroom window, I know that.
Oh, yes, and
And
getting
it's
closer,
getting
every,
closer
year.
every year.
I figure before, I've got time before I kick the bucket.
Barely, though.
Yeah, but barely, yes, it's moving back.
There's a beach down there,
Yes,
and
there
a
is.
wide gap around the beach, and it's very soft shale stone,
Yeah.
and mixed with a lot of dirt. And the waves do a number on that.
Yes, now have you seen the caves, or are they since you lived there?
The
there
cave,
are
yeah,
4
oh, yeah.
caves towards Barcelona now
Okay.
in that shale that you can actually
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
into. I pick up beach glass in them.
A body floated into one of them one year.
Well, yes, we've
Yeah.
had a few of those, and a couple of boats that didn't make it down the lake that came in on the beach, and some exciting things.
Oh yeah, well it's a very small beach, but
Yes, it is,
it's
but
kind
it's
of a fun
lovely.
beach, and very, very perpendicular. I mean, we used to have to cut steps into the rock,
Yeah.
and they wash out every year.
Oh, yes, they do.
But
Yes.
the action, the eternal action of the lake, which comes slamming in when there are winds, has slowly eroded this back. I swear it must be about 50 to 100 feet, something like that, since when I was a kid, heading toward the house.
Yes.
Just
All
direct
across the
line toward
front.
the house.
All across the front. In fact, the assessor put the old assessment map over the new satellite one, and she said that there's been several hundred feet go
since that
in
time,
certain
huh?
places along, not everywhere, but in certain places along the shoreline from erosion.
I see it down by Barcelona, the Westfield Highway Department.
Look at the highway.
Just did a lot of building there with huge cement blocks and something, and rods and things, just to hold it back. And of course, it'll hold it back for a while. We'll put it that way.
It's hard to fight nature.
There was a house just above that, and it was moved back from the lake.
Dr. Northrup's cottage that he used to own there between me and Barcelona has been moved several times.
You have to swing with the times. Before long, it'll be up to Route 5.
It is at Barcelona. It is.
Right, it
and
is.
then down towards Brockton, there's another place that it's right up to the road. It's interesting. Well, the tourists like the views, let me tell you. In fact, I was late getting here this morning because I had people from Germany walk in the door, and right behind them, people from Kentucky. They're still traveling around. I thought about that.
We had a guest the last time I was on. It was straight from Germany, he and his wife.
Is that right? Well, this is a man and his wife. They're staying at KOA Campground, and they came over this morning to see what the Sugar Shack was all about.
Well, since you speak fluent German, it works fine.
No, I don't.
But at any rate, I'm sure they had a good time. And,
they did.
And unfortunately, my viewers are crying the blues because they've only seen you for 20 minutes.
Well, that's probably enough.
Gail Black has a beautiful place. She has used to have pancakes, but now...
We didn't do it this year because my son and his wife had a new baby, and we just looked at it and decided there are some things more important, like family and new babies, than pancakes. Next year, we'll probably do that again.
Yeah, Sundays you had pancakes, right?
And we probably
and syrup with homemade maple syrup.
That's correct.
The real stuff, not that Aunt Jemima fake stuff that they give you.
The real stuff.
And you also have, do you still have rooms there for people to rent?
No, I got very tired of cleaning bathrooms and washing sheets every Saturday night. There's other things to do. So I rent them long term now. And I have some lovely people in both houses.
Okay, terrific. And you also have the Sugar Shack, a real maple syrup producing thing, and you make other sugars there, huh?
Yes, and we give tours of our farm to all these tourists that come, and I have big maps on my walls, and they put a star on their hometown, and they sign my guest book, and it's a very interesting thing. By the way, in the Chautauqua Star this week, we have a feature article. They came and did pictures and a feature article about the Sugar Shack, which is just
fantastic.
lovely.
Well,
it's a free paper. Pick one up.
Gail, I just got this horrible sound. We're out of here. We're done.
Oh.
Okay, say goodbye.
Goodbye. Nice seeing you again. Come see me at the Sugar Shack.
And where is it again?
Route 5, Westfield, 1 mile from the end of 394 going east.
From Barcelona, head east 1 mile. You
towards
can't miss
Dunkirk.
it.
Come see me.
Can't miss it. Okay. I want to thank some really special people. Sorry, caller. We had a caller. We wiped them out. I want to say thank you to Chuck Kelsey, Devin Taylor. I want to say thank you to Chris Burt, and especially to Randy Burt, who's been doing a wonderful job here. I want to say thank you to Chris Ramaker, Jeff Zook. Jeff Zook is our major heavy-duty engineer, and he does a fabulous job. Don Zenz, John Hamels, who covers for me and does our editorial work. And I want to thank all the viewers and all the people who called in earlier. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. I'm Reed Powers.